What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So I wanted to propose a question to y'all since we just recently seen arguably some people's favorite heel turn of all time, or some people would say one of the greatest heel turns of all time. I wanted to ask y'all, what's y'all favorite heel turn that you can remember from the past where you were just like completely shocked? It stuck with you even to this day. It's something that you always will remember. Since we are in the season of everybody wanting to turn heel, I definitely wanted to kind of ask you guys this question on Twitter. So I'm going to pull up my Twitter and appreciate everyone that participated in that. I really do appreciate that. So this is the tweet that I asked: what's y'all favorite heel turn of all time? Also, give me the reason why it's your favorite. I will be posting some of y'all responses on my next video. And here we are. So I'm going to go through some of these responses. I'm not going to be able to get to everyone, but I will try to get to as many people as possible because I don't want to make this video entirely too long. So let's check out some of these responses right here. Shout out to Malik, man. I'll probably say Seth turning on the Shield. One, it was so unexpected because the Shield was stronger than ever, coming off 2 big wins over Evolution. 2, what it did for everyone's career and how successful everyone would become afterwards. I think it was a major risk to break them up at the time, but turned out to work for the better of the better of everyone. That's one heel turn that nobody saw coming. And you know what? He is spot on. That heel turn was iconic. A lot of people didn't see that happening. I didn't see that happening. They just beat Evolution back-to-back pay-per-views at the time. And, you know, at some point it was going to happen, but you didn't know when. You just didn't think it was going to be right then and there. And it was great. It was executed perfectly. Still the iconic moment of when Seth is about to hit them with the steel chair. You heard that infamous guy say, "No!" He knew what was coming. So that was actually a really good heel turn that benefited everybody. This one right here, hands down, Eddie Guerrero turning on Rey Mysterio. I feel like similar to John Cena recently, Eddie was legit, was like a legit heel turn too. His motivations to take down Rey for losing constantly was a good story. Plus, we got the Dom custody in a ladder match in 2005. Yeah, he couldn't beat Rey, so he finally snapped, and it was a iconic heel turn as well. We got Miles. One of my favorites is Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, simply because there was real heat behind it. His paranoia about Hogan wanting to sleep with Elizabeth and take his title. Yep, that's an iconic moment as well. I've seen people talk about it, and it made sense at that time. Like, you over here trying to, we know you, Hogan. We know what you're like, Hogan. So, you know, that one worked at that time period too. Angry Lakers fan versus WWE. Okay, gotta be Hogan. The NWO template is still a thing today, and that heel turn sent bigger shockwaves, changed wrestling in general, and not just a storyline. Caused Monday Night Wars, which created Stone Cold Steve Austin's The Rock, DX, all Hall of Fame careers. And I was thinking about that the other day. If you were to rank some of these heel turns, with John Cena's recent one, we still got to see how it's going to play out, because the heel turn itself was fantastic. It's just, how is it going to play out? What's going to result from it? What type of matches and stuff we're going to get from that? What type of storytelling are we going to get from that? But it's still, in my opinion, you know, it's definitely probably top 10, because no one thought it was going to really happen, especially in his last supposed year wrestling. So, but for Hulk Hogan, it did change everything. Whether you like the guy or not, him turning heel in the rival company changed everything, because it ushered in a new era of the bad guys being cool. When he was with Vince for so long, it was always eat your vitamins and say your prayers and don't call people the N-word. That's what it was supposed to be. That's what it was. But people got tired of it. The times had changed in that era. People were tired of the goody two-shoes, and they wanted the anti-authority, anti-establishment cool guys. And that's what happened. his heel turn changed the industry for sure. So, whether you like Hulk Hogan or not, him joining the NWO, being a part of that, it will probably go down as still the greatest heel turn of all time because it kind of set up a lot of things that we see now today in wrestling. Chris, Wrestling Views on YouTube. I will definitely have to say when The Rock joined the corporation. Now, for me personally, I think, I mean, it wasn't, you can kind of tell. He was already roughly a heel at that time, so you can kind of tell. It wasn't like a surprise for me personally. It kind of fit the character, but for me personally, it wasn't a surprise. So I wouldn't put that in like my top 10 heel turns, but it wasn't like a surprise in a sense. I think they were kind of going that route because you remember he started off as a babyface and it didn't work. They had him be a heel, had him join the Nation of Domination and stuff like that. So it kind of worked within the character that he was already portraying. So for me, it wasn't much of a surprise. What's this? Homicide Hound. Let's see. The Matt Hardy heel turn on Jeff back in 2009 at the Royal Rumble is one of my favorites in all of wrestling, just because how personal and how close it hit for being fans of both of them at the time of their careers. That was a good one too. That was a pretty good one. The classic brother versus brother storyline. I actually enjoyed that. I have Batista versus Rey Mysterio because we wasn't expecting it. Because Rey and Batista were best friends for all those years. We never thought Batista would blow up and attack Rey like that. When we heard Batista say, "I'm going to rip your head off, Rey," we knew it was over. Yeah, Rey is he's just the person that, people just love to turn on him. Even his own fucking son turned on him. So I really feel bad for Rey. All right, here. Call me crazy, but CM Punk turning heel by attacking The Rock on Raw was always a big moment to me. We got one of his best promos out of this story, too. This was a good moment. I think it worked because he needed to go heel, and he was going against The Rock. He was going against The Rock. The Rock was going to be the overwhelming babyface in this situation. It made sense to turn him heel, and we still got a really good title run from CM Punk around that time. Unhand that Minkus? Okay. My favorite is Bret Hart heel turn versus Austin, because I don't think WWE has been able to pull off a double switch that successful since. My favorite that I witnessed in real time was Shawn Michaels super kicking Triple H because I never saw it coming, and that feud was gas. Hey, that was pretty good. Obviously, the Bret Hart double turn with Austin, it worked perfectly. I can agree with him. I don't think we've seen a double turn simultaneously that great again. It worked. Bret Hart was always the wrestling technician, but he was always the stand-up guy. Stone Cold was coming in as this brash, trash-talking, doesn't care, SOB that's going to whoop your ass and talk trash while doing it, and it worked because Stone Cold didn't give up. It made him look like a bigger badass as the blood is seeping down his face. And he never gave up. He's in the sharpshooter, never gave up. Like, that look, that visual worked. And, it benefited both of them, especially Stone Cold at that time. So, Devon 2112. Dean Ambrose, just for the time of the heel turn to the next next week when he burnt his Shield attire, it was perfect time to do it after it was announced that Roman's leukemia announcement, and then 2018 WWE had to 20 what? And then 2018 WWE had to 2018 WWE. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, they kind of messed it up. They definitely did. But no, that heel turn was really good because it was such a sad and emotional moment for Roman Reigns, and then for them to end it off with him attacking. All that shit was wild. It was wild, and then he started going the route of, you know what I'm saying? Hey, We did some bad things. Maybe Roman deserved to get what he's getting. I was like, oh, whoa, all right, damn, bro. But I did enjoy it initially. And they kind of fumbled it, but that was WWE back then. Jimmy George, 814, TTV. Mine would be Matt Hardy because as the younger brother, I can feel his pain and anger because my older brother is like that. But later we made up and everything. All right, well, honestly, you it sound like you wanted to turn heel, my boy. Did you end up turning heel? He put that into his personal life. Thanks for letting me know, bro. Alligator. In my lifetime, probably the Seth Rollins chair because of how shocking it was and the fact Roman lost his title because of that memory 10 years later. Now, if it's before I was born, it's Hogan 96 for obvious reasons. Basically changed the industry forever. And a lot of people love the Seth Rollins betrayal. And it's crazy because I don't think they planned this 10 years ago or however many years ago. But like he said, it makes sense because Roman ultimately lost the title because he couldn't let go of the hate and betrayal by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins indirectly birthed the tribal chief. And I hope if we do get this feud at WrestleMania, which I think they're setting up, I hope that promo, that promo package is going to be fantastic. And I can't wait to see their back and forth, bro. This is going to be so good. So that's obviously a solid one. Oh, I like this one. I will never trust the N logo ever again by Delaney because of this heel turn. And it led to one of the best rivalries this past 10 years. This was good. This was so fucking good, bro. Not going to hold you. I appreciate this heel turn. This was so fan. This was peak NXT in my opinion. This was so fucking good. Oh, they had some legendary, fantastic matches. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, they were carrying the black and gold brand with this feud. This was fantastic. Glad you put this in here. Rich Tennis. A lot of good ones, but for me, Roman Reigns, Triple H when he ran over HBK, Seth Rollins, but John Cena takes this one, hands down. Man turned so hard he set off a chain reaction. Now everybody's turning heel. Co-workers, the bus drivers, the crazy cat lady down the block. You know what? You may have a point there. The Wrestle the blue check, LOL. Well, Cena now. It's being deemed one of the greatest or most shocking moments in WWE history. And unlike a lot of other great moments, I get to say that I was alive when it happened. Second would be the Usos heel turn in 2016 because it created a spark in the tag division. I'm glad you brought that up. When they turned heel, which was needed, and started up the Uso Penitentiary, that shit was actually pretty fire. It was crazy they end up becoming cooler because of it. Got rid of the face paint, started being more serious. I'm all for it. So I definitely agree with that. And the John Cena one, bro, I can't get mad if some kids watching that moment last week say this is one of the greatest heel turns. Hell, I'm a grown adult, and I can say this is still one of the greatest heel turns of all time. It's fucking fantastic. It's going to be a moment we'll always remember. Why not, Trevor? It's so many for me, but I'll go with an underrated one. Scott Steiner turning on his brother Rick at Super Brawl to join the NWO. Big Papa Pump was born from that heel turn. I didn't even know that. So you kind of laced me up on history, bro. Did not know that. And an iconic character was born out of that. Crazy Mike. My favorite heel turn is when Seth Rollins turned on Roman Reigns, ultimately breaking up the Shield and creating the beast that is the OTC, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Fantastic moment. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. Corey McRae. Triple H turning on Shawn. That was a great one. That heel turn was out of nowhere, and it gave us one of the best blood feuds between two GOATs. Facts. That's one of my favorite blood feuds. One of my recent favorite ones now is, well, I wouldn't call it a blood feud because Drew and CM Punk they're not really like close like that, cool like that. Because you only say blood feuds if the two opponents consider each other brothers type shit. Or they're real blood, in a sense. But Another good feud that was full of hatred. Obviously, CM Punk and Drew from last year. But yeah, Triple H and HBK, their feud, legendary. So much hate. Loved the Hell in a Cell they had. Loved the matches that they had. Oh, King Pop Rich. My favorite heel turn of all time has to be CM Punk when he GTS The Rock 2012 era. I was shocked because I felt disrespected by The Rock and everyone else too. That's how he became my favorite wrestler in WWE. Hey, all right, man. Hey, that was a crazy time too. Shout out to King Pop Rich. Demon King. I will say Roman because we wanted Roman to turn heel, but it took a while to pull the trigger. When he came back at SummerSlam and attacked the Fiend and Braun, I'm gonna be honest, it caught me off guard. Then on SmackDown, him and Paul together, yo, I was like, finally, heel Roman. Facts, bro. Factuals. I just wish it would have been able to have been done in front of a live audience. That crowd would have been going crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. The crowd would have cheered. The crowd would have cheered. Being dead ass. Crowd would have cheered. I would have cheered. I was cheering at home, and we arguably got one of the best runs from a wrestler in WWE history, all because he turned heel, and then he became fucking cooler. He became cool. It was so great. It was just during the pandemic. That's the only thing that hurt it. But we were still in for some great television. Tyler Mitchell, gotta say, The Rock had some phenomenal heel turns. People's champ to corporate champ at Survivor Series 98. Hollywood Rock, and that run was so short but so impactful that to this day many think it's his best version. Of course, we can't forget the final boss. And fair enough. I think with The Rock, even he was so charismatic. Like he had so much charisma, or the riz, as kids say, that even as a heel, he was entertaining. Even as a babyface, he was entertaining. So for me, that's why I never looked at his heel turns as groundbreaking, because he was so entertaining. You would still boo him, but you would also cheer him. You would also kind of get behind some of the stuff he was saying because it worked. He was entertaining as a heel and as a babyface. So that's why it was never one of those things where it was like, oh no, obviously going against Stone Cold or somebody I'm a boo. Align yourself with Vince McMahon and corporation. I'm a boo. But at the same time, I still thought he was fucking cool because he's coming out there dripped out, looking fancy, talking shit. It was some good stuff, man. It was good stuff. Definitely helped his career for sure. Glad someone else said this again. Prescott, honorable mention when Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2017, leading to Ciampa getting cooked by the crowd, though. Oh, yeah, this is some good stuff. Fantastic stuff, bro. APW Sports. I would say Cena, but the payoff for it hasn't happened yet. So I will say Roman turning heel because of his character went to another level, and it came off as more naturally him versus him being the babyface. We wanted heel Roman for so long, and his Tribal Chief run was so fun to watch. You are spot on. And now, excuse me, y'all, I'm a little bit congested. But now, because of that legendary heel run, now he's even a bigger babyface. He's a bigger box attraction than he was solely as a babyface. Next is Ram K. One of my favorites is Triple H when he beat up Shawn Michaels backstage in 2002, and it brought Michaels out of retirement for his second and better run. All right, fair enough. Legendary heel turn, legendary feud. King Kato, Randy turning on Edge immediately after Edge returned to wrestling in 2020. It was so perfect and to me unexpected that I legit had my jaw dropping. Yeah, that was a fun feud starting up. Then they kind of overcooked it with the best wrestling match. Y'all remember that? The best wrestling match, they kind of overcooked that. That was my only downside to it. But I enjoyed their feud for the most part. It was just a whole, we're gonna have the best wrestling match ever. I was like, all right, guys, yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have a good match. Let's not overcook it. Tyler Gallagher, probably a recency bias, but oh well. The John Cena heel turn a few weeks ago wasn't I wasn't alive for Hogan and was too young for Stone Cold at Mania 17. The most shocking wrestling moment I've ever witnessed since is Undertaker WrestleMania Streak Snap versus Brock. Well, I wasn't asking for the most shocking moment, but thank you. There's nothing wrong with you saying John Cena because obviously this was still a very crazy heel turn. So appreciate that, man. Midnight Pro. I have a soft spot for Wesley's heel turn last year. Though John Cena's was easily the best one, even if it stung when it happened. And that's what makes a good heel turn. When it hurts you. When it hurts your heart. Like, I look up to this guy and look at him now. T-Mac. Batista turning heel on Ray was fantastic. It was unexpected. We thought swole body Batista was going to send Ray to the gulags, and it gave us one of the greatest lines in WWE history. You're supposed to be my friend. Facts. Factuals, T-Mac. Virgo. Rollins' turn on the Shield. He has been my current favorite wrestler since he debuted it, and to see him finally get a huge solo push on the main roster was great. Yeah, that heel turn definitely raised up Seth's stock. He was putting on some good matches as well. Even though he's a chicken shit heel with the Authority, he was still putting on some pretty good matches. Jones Bones. I think an underrated one was early 2000s, Stephanie turning on a face Vince, mainly because the Vince McMahon-Helmsley alliance during that time gave the company a clear-cut, consistent heel for some time. And I get it. I get it. On me, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, even though Vince was a face or whatever, me personally, I'm still like, hey, fuck you, Vince. I wanted to boo you. Clutch City AL or Clutch City Owl, however you want to pronounce it. Seth Rollins turning on the Shield was fantastic. They were teasing it for a few months, but the question was, who was going to be the one to turn? It was Flames. Iconic moment. A lot of y'all are saying that, which understandably so. Jordan McCluskey. I know it's not the greatest heel turn, but I'll have to say when The Miz turned on John Morrison at the 2009 draft, when The Miz saw he was drafted to Raw from ECW, I actually don't remember that. So don't get mad at me, bro. I actually don't remember that. So I'm glad that you do, but I don't. If y'all remember that one, let me know in the comments down below. I don't. Justin Payton. My favorite heel turn is Seth Rollins turning on the Shield. Another one because of the impact it had for the future of WWE. People thought it'd be Dean, which I did too. This came out of nowhere. It was well done. This stems after Batista quit WWE 2 for the second time. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Dean Ambrose, and we were all wrong. Jan Volker. Becky Lynch turning on Charlotte at SummerSlam 2018. Even though it was a failed heel turn, it made Becky into one of the biggest stars in WWE. I'm glad you said this because it did. When she turned heel, no one booed her because no one wanted to see Charlotte win over and over and over. People wanted to see Becky get her, her moment. So when they turned her, y'all remember that. The crowd went crazy. Crowd loved it. She came out there, I think it was on SmackDown, and was trying to say you fans didn't believe in me. It didn't work. It did not work. They were not going to boo her. They were not going to boo Becky at all. And then they had to pivot. And she arguably became the most over wrestler. Not just woman, not just for the men. In general, she was the top person in the company. She was. I'm being dead ass. I'm talking about someone that you saw week to week. She was the most over person in the company. There was no guy that was more over than Becky Lynch around that time. That's the crazy thing about it. That's how much times have changed since then. So, great heel turn. Didn't last long, but it worked out for her in the end. Vitamin RR2 times. The heel turn for me would be The Rock becoming the final boss, dropping gospel, and with everything he has done last year and most recently was one of, if not the best heel turn in WWE history. His heel turn worked. He needed to. He had to. Cody, the Cody movement, it had took over. He had to pivot, and it is honestly some of his best work character-wise. Has it gotten a little bit contrived and confusing as of late, especially with the whole soul thing? For sure, but it's still entertaining television. Terry, Seth Rollins, he put a chair to his brother's back and sold his soul to the Authority. Not gonna lie, I had a love and hate with this one, but it was so unexpected and iconic. I think a lot of y'all are giving a lot of love to Seth Rollins' heel turn, as he definitely deserves. The Prodigal Vault. Surprised no one mentioned Roman turns becoming a tribal chief. From the moment he was on that couch with Paul, I knew we was in for a ride. Some people have already. Some people have. I figured people were going to say something about it. And I think I'm going to end it right here. Desi D. My favorite heel turn was Randy Orton heel turn in 2020 before COVID hit. Reason why it's my favorite, because we got in our 2009 Randy Orton all over again, which we did when he hit that RKO on Beth Phoenix and then went after legends like Christian, Flair, and more. Gotta love Crash Out Viper. Yeah, bruh. He tapped into the old Randy. Like, he was punt kicking people and shit. It was fucking fantastic, bro. It was a good moment to see that. Obviously, COVID changed a lot of things, and you know, it definitely messed up a little bit of the momentum that they had, because obviously them feuding in a live audience would have been even better. But hey, man, I appreciate everyone that commented on this. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you on this video. I didn't want to make it too long, but I'll definitely check out some of these comments that you guys continue to send on my Twitter. But I appreciate y'all even being a part of this, and you know, it's just one of those things where I wanted to make this video because a lot of people are talking about some of the greatest heel turns of all time, and we witnessed one at Elimination Chamber. We witnessed one of them for sure. You know, you can put it in your top 10, top 5. Some of y'all may be your favorite heel turn of all time. Now, the real question becomes, what do they do with John Cena for this heel turn? And that's what's going to really tell if it stands the test of time. But hey, comment down below. But no, what am I talking about, bro? Comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite heel turn of all time. If you didn't see it in this video, if there's some that you feel like deserve to get some spotlight and shine, y'all put it down in the comment section down below. How did it make you feel when you initially saw it, man? Y'all let me know. But I appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking in with me. See you on the next one. Peace.